It was back in 2016 when the project host Waleed Ali's Gold Logies acceptance speech drew attention to the lack of cultural representation on local screens. Immediately diversity became a buzzword and there were more conversations about inclusion within the industry. But how far have we really come in those 2 years? Waleed says the progress is slow and Australia still has a long way to go in achieving diversity beyond the Asians and Indians we see on MasterChef and My Kitchen Rules. I wouldn't say that there's been a huge change, but these things are all incremental, Waleed told me at the 2018 Logie Awards. The progress is slow. I'd love it to be quicker, but I don't have control over that. These things take time. Waleed acknowledged there has been somewhat of a shift in the industry in the past 2 years. I think there's been a little bit, he said, revealing there's been just bits and pieces I've seen and gone, oh that's interesting, like it might be like a family on Neighbours or something like that. Last year Neighbours producers introduced an Indian family to Ramsay Street, played by a mixture of Indian Australian and Sri Lankan Australian actors who are still on the show a year later. This is the second time a South Asian family has been written into the Neighbours script. Back in 2013, actor Sachin Joab expressed his disappointment that his character, and the rest of the on-screen Kapoor family, had been written out of the soap. It was more of a shock to us knowing that it wasn't just one multicultural actor who was being written out, it was every single multicultural full-time actor on the show, he told Digital Spy at the time. All 4 of us were written out in the first year of our full-time contracts, which felt like a massive step backwards in terms of cultural diversity on the show. Meanwhile Neighbours' main competition, Channel 7 soap Home and Away, has also stepped up its game in terms of diverse casting. Zara Roberts joined the cast last year, and the biracial actress says she's 100% proud to be a role model for other girls from South Asian backgrounds. The 31-year-old, who is half Sri Lankan and Australian, told me the initial lack of diversity in Australia prompted her to move overseas earlier in her career. I think that's one of the reasons I went to America, it's because there weren't enough roles here for women that looked like us, she said. So it's nice to be cast on an Australian drama that's doing really well and my national